trying to break the stereotype of yoga, and sadly that stereotype gets reinforced by magazine ads and TV commercials. They reinforce the butterfly girl, or the really skinny, bendy pretzel girl that can do these amazing things. That really is the myth that I'm trying to bust here. People come into the room and they see that I'm teaching, or they see this fat old guy teaching yoga, and they're like, oh, so this is, maybe there is something here for me. So it's comforting for people to come. For 25 years, I was a sales manager for a company here in town, and I had 18 salespeople and 5 supervisors that I was in charge of. So it was a sales job, sales manager job, and jobs like that don't have hours. They're never done. So I found myself working 60 and 80 hours a week. At first I enjoyed it, but after a while the stress started wearing me down, and stress was really, really acting on my body, to the point where my doctor said, you have to quit your job. My wife, it was her birthday, it was about 17 years ago, and she said, the only thing I want for my birthday is for you to come to a yoga class with me. I went, no, yoga's for girls, I'm not going to yoga. And then I thought about it, I thought, well, let's see, $100 for dinner or $12 for a yoga class. I said, let's go to yoga. But within 10 minutes in yoga, within 10 minutes, we were both doing a particular pose called down dog. She looked under her arm, she said, how are you doing? And I said, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. And then on the inhale, karate chop between your knees. Inhale, karate chop. Exhale, lift your hands above. Keep the knees lifted, keep lifted. Inhale, that one. Now go ahead and lower the hands above you, lower the okay, so that was the warm-up. And so there you are, tall and bright. Your hands come to your sides. So the bird wings here. Lift the hands wide to the sides. Reach up to the ceiling. Relax your legs. Palms rotate out and then back down. Exhale. Several breaths like this. I was doing yoga, just practicing yoga just about every day in area studios. And in one studio that I was going to in particular, the teacher, the owner said, well, why don't you teach a men's class? And I thought, well, I can't teach yoga. She said, sure you can. You do enough yoga. You're a man, you can talk to men. And so I started teaching. It was a 6:30 a.m. class right downtown, and I started teaching, and I was amazed at yoga to other people had on me. It was such a positive influence that I felt really charged and renewed. Now go ahead and let the twist happen by drawing your left foot over to the side. Either tighten up the knees in grapevine or keep the ankle crossed. Make your way back to where your two is. Right arm tucks back. Your legs stay perfectly still. You just teeter-totter back. I enjoy hot. I was doing one kind of hot yoga downtown that I didn't really care for the yoga, but I loved the heat. And so after I quit my job, I thought, well, this is, maybe let me give this a try and let's see what happens. There was no real plan. So I looked for a place to rent, to sublet, and yeah, I turned the heat up on high and I started teaching classes, and one time 3 people came. And then next time 4 people came, and then like 8 people came one time. I was ecstatic. That was really the beginning 6 years ago of Hot Yoga Burlington. So I took my concept of heat and added it with the movement style of yoga that I do, plus tailoring the class to men and to people from all walks of life. And so it was not just the yogi, bendy, Gumby people, but also the people that maybe had an injury or maybe were a little tight and maybe couldn't even see their toes, let alone touch their toes. And so I started working with those kind of people, and it's turned into a real solid and rewarding business now that I really enjoy. I struggled with the heat for years, like how to get the room consistently hot and how to do it economically. First it was forced air, and I would just heat the room up to as hot as I could get it and close the windows. And then I started to refine things and work with different kinds of heaters and fans and humidifiers. and things like that. But about 3 years ago, I found myself on a website looking for an economical way to heat the hot yoga studio, and I found myself in Scandinavia on a website talking about far infrared heat. Far infrared has this healing property to it that is popular in Japan. So you're probably familiar with infrared. That's that red light that we see all the time. But there's no light here. It's far infrared. You just feel the vibration, and you feel the heat on your body, much like being out in the sun on a winter day when your skin feels warm. Well, I talk about stress a lot, and there's invisible stress. Everybody knows the apparent stress, but there's invisible stress, like driving a car. We don't realize that we're risking our lives. You get in a car and you're hurtling down the road at 30 or 50 miles an hour. Our mind is adapted to this stress, and it's still in the body. Even the stress of sitting upright, it's just this invisible stress that we carry, that we're habituated to it, but it still affects the nervous system and the physical body after a period of time. And yoga relieves that stress. People have lost touch with their physical bodies because we're so computer-oriented in phones and devices, and even driving, even reading a book. It just kind of separates the mind from the body. And I sense that we live in our minds so much that we've forgotten about the vessel that carries the mind around the body and the physical body. And so I hope to bring people to class to find them, to remind them of how their body moves and what they're able to do. And a lot of people sort of give up on their bodies, and they say, well, I can't touch my toes anymore, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. And I try to show them that you can actually, with just a little bit of practice and knowledge and strengthening and stretching, you can recover your range of movement. And it's so rewarding, especially guys, for them to see that they can squat down and they can move around and move around like they did 20 and 30 years earlier in their lives. Physical yoga is fun. Hatha yoga is fun, but there's more. There's focus, there's mindfulness, there's concentration. All that has done a lot to help calm me down. I'm a very hyper person, very type A, and running, and yoga's changed me in a fundamental way. So now I'm much more calm and relaxed and purposeful.